What is up, everybody? The commish here with episode 15 of the small package and post All Star break. Feeling a little rusty, but we're still in fantasy week 17. A lot of teams still on their break, so it's been kind of a weird time as far as fantasy lineups. But we'll get more into that here. But I better introduce my buddy Kevin Stork. I can see his whole picture. It says the league fantasy hockey. I don't know how it comes up on the YouTubes, but I see the whole sign for once. I know I have the trophy in the background. Sometimes I think on the dual split screen on the YouTube, you don't see all of our picture, but for some reason I see everything right now. So hopefully
Oh,
that shows up on the YouTube. But what's up,
nice.
Kevin Stork?
How you doing, Jimmy?
Well, we've been talking all day. Kind of I don't know, zapping February doldrums, post birthday. Uh, Pre Valentine's Day. I don't know. It's just the weather's off and on. It wasn't too bad today. I'm making excuses. I need to get more energy into me, and that's why I'm bringing you on, buddy. Let's
Ah,
talk hockey. Let's talk hockey, man.
yeah.
Let's.
Well, we're getting started up again here. Starting yesterday, of course, or no, actually a couple of days now. But it's a slow day today. Only a couple of games on the schedule, but then we'll eventually get back to normal again and finish off this exciting and most important week 17.
Yeah, light schedule tonight, but there's been some good matchups here the past few days as the post All Star break is underway, and then before you know it, the trade deadline is going to be here. We've been talking about that the last. Well, we've probably been talking about that at every show because the trade deadline's just kind of like one of those moments in the season, uh, fantasy and real NHL. That's when it really kicks off. The big playoff push, the big stretch run. Everybody uh, by then knows if they're a pretender or a contender or um. I already forgot my saying again for the Bedard. Dang it! I didn't come up with it during the podcast. I did too. I just started a podcast, Stork. Um, Bounce out for
You got
Bedard,
thrown
something like
off
that.
when you called it the small package. So
Yeah. So our trade deadline's coming up February 22nd. That's not too far off. That's a Wednesday. We got everybody's fantasy dues in, so my thanks to everybody that's done that. We're just waiting for our top three finishers for those prizes. So um, I don't know. Trade talks heating up out there, Stork. A lot of rumors. I mean, that's basically what they are until you see what happens. There was been a couple of small minor deals here and there. My brain's kind of cloudy. Anything standing out to you right now?
well, I mean, for the next for the NHL trade deadline, I mean, we'll probably see not too many big moves, but we're gonna see a few small ones. We might get one or two jaw droppers, but uh, teams are kind of holding on to what they have right now because there could be some changes in the next couple of years. So teams aren't going to do anything really drastic, but you'll see a lot of smaller moves this year.
Yeah. Well, we did talk about the one deal. That's where my brain was fried. We talked about the Horvat deal on the last show. So it seems like a year ago since we last talked for
Yeah,
some reason. It's only
it was
been
a
a
lot. We talked about that last
yeah.
week.
For
But,
some reason, I thought there was a big trade, and I'm like, yeah. And we did talk about Horvat. The All Star break for me this year, Stork. It just seemed really long. I don't
yeah,
know about you.
I'm
What'd you
sorry.
think?
Well, you already know what my view is on the All Star game, and a perfect example was this year's All Star game. I mean, anything that was remotely entertaining was the skills competition. But even that was kind of, you know. And then we went to the game, and I'm sorry, man. Decided to watch 5 minutes of it, and then I got bored and
Yeah.
decided to watch hyenas go after wildebeest because, you know, it's just not exciting. It was pond hockey, and the kind of hockey we watched this year, for example, you wouldn't have seen that in the 70s and 80s, man. These guys went out there in the All-Star games back then, and they tried to win the game. There was none of this, let me move over so you can deke by me. I mean, that's how much money did people pay for that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a, I mean, that's what basically it is. It's for the fans, autographs.
That's for the fans. The fans don't want to see that.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, well, I guess like you had Ovi's kid out there. It's for the younger kids.
That was cool. Yeah.
Like you said, the 3-on-3. I actually never even watched it. Stork. Saturday was a work day for me. It was an early game here on the West Coast where I was at work. I had it on my DVR. I put it on. It was into my background, and I looked up while I was doing some office work, and I really couldn't get into it. I saw the Ovi Crosby little tic tac. That was pretty cool, but how hard was Vassy trying? But whatever, it is what it is. They try to make it a spectacle. I do like the skills competition here and there, but there was a couple of events. It was a long-winded skills competition.
Well, it
the
was
dunk tank,
all right.
Yeah, the dunk tank made me laugh. Let's just say I actually was entertained by that, seeing like Crosby and Tkachuk go in there as they hit the surfboards with the pucks. But it's over with, Stork. So All-Star break, thank God, in the books. Next year it's in Toronto.
Yeah, like it's not going to be any different. It's going to be just the same shit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't gotten up for the All-Star game for years now, man.
Yeah, I mean, like
I said, if it's on TV, I might look at it. But I mean, like, I'm serious. I went and watched a nature show because it was more exciting watching the hyenas go after the wildebeest. I mean, they really wanted that wildebeest. Those hockey players didn't want to win the game. Yeah. They just wanted to. When you're paying hundreds of dollars probably to watch the All-Star game live, I would have left there going, I'll never see one of those again. That was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it was horrible, man. I can't. I'm at the point now where when the All-Star break goes, I get sad because there's no hockey for a few days, like real hockey. I want to watch real hockey, man. So, I get down on the All-Star game because it means 4 or 5 days of no NHL hockey. That's what it means to me now. So, I might have different view than other people, but I'm an old guy now, man. I'm old school. I seen the All-Star game many, many, many years ago. And like I said, I mean, they had something to play for back then. It was an incentive, and I think they changed it a few times, but one was to, at one point, they had an All-Star game, whatever conference was going to get the home ice advantage in the playoffs, like in the final or whatever it was. They did all kinds of different things to give them incentive to win that game, and they went out there and they tried to win the game. Did they play 110% to win the game? No, but it was much more entertaining to watch the whole All-Star game and see all these star-studded players all over the ice. But they were playing. It was 5-on-5. They were playing, and they were playing to win. I mean, it's just, I get it that it's for the fans and all that, but like I said, I can go outside and watch a few kids play ball hockey on the street, and it was more entertaining to me.
Yeah. So, all right, well, we'll throw it in the trash can. Let's talk fantasy puck. We're raring to go. Like we said, it's the extended week because of the All-Star break. We started off last week with 3 days of hockey before the break, and then it was shut down for 4 days, and now we're back at it. And it's an important week to take advantage of the schedule. There's still, like we said, half the teams that haven't even played hockey since the break has come out. So it's kind of been interesting. Let's take a look at updated scores as we speak. We got 2 games tonight, Stork. It's TNT night in the States. That game's going to be Minnesota Dallas. Only one TNT broadcast. That's at 5:30 here on the West Coast, 8:30 on the East. And then coming up in 45 minutes on the East Coast, a later start, the Vancouver Canucks taking on the New York Rangers at Madison Square Garden. That should be an entertaining match. So if you got a bunch of players on those 4 squads, you're in good shape. But let's take a look at the league fantasy hockey matchups right now. Our matchup of the week, every time these two have come together, it's DB Cooper and Probert Etiquette. This is the third and final meeting regular season wise. It's deadlocked at 10 apiece, Stork. Do you have your stat tracker up? I like this matchup right now. Looks like Dave.
I was going to say earlier in the week, except for the last day or two, DB Cooper was putting the boots to Probert, but Probert managed to fight back, and they're all evened up. But as you know, DB Cooper has had Probert's number all season, smashing them both games. So it should be a good, exciting finish.
Yeah, Dave's big player of the matchup so far is Ilya Sorokin, Islanders. First game with Bo Horvat last game. Stork, were you able to watch that game? Yes. I think he's fit in. We were talking about that. How is he going to fit in? He fit in right well. Scored 2 goals, did he not?
He scored a goal, yeah.
I can't remember. I don't have the stats in front of me because Dave does have Bo Horvat as well. So let me see. Stat tracker is kind of. There's so many names on Dave's roster. I can't even see where he's at. Not even seeing him. Oh, there he is. Okay, yeah, he has 1 goal with Dave this week, I guess, but I thought he had 2.
He scored on Tuesday, I believe.
Okay. For some reason I thought he scored twice in that game, but I guess I don't.
No, just the once.
Okay. But Sorokin got the shutout. That's a big one to get. Because Mark Raymond doesn't have any Bruins going until the end of the week. So that's his goaltending tandem. He had to pick up Varlamov so far this week, who really didn't do much yet because he hasn't played. But, yeah, 10-10 is that score. That's our matchup of the week. Probert's beating them in goals 6-2. I won't go down every category, but this will be a big game because Dave's looking to avoid the sweep, and he's also looking to tie Mark in the standings. They would both be at 11-6 if that happens. So we'll take a look at another score. It's the Woody Woodpeckers up on Josh Halsey's Wyoming Great Apes. Josh is the leader in the Ovechkin, and he's kind of slipped these past few weeks playing subpar fantasy hockey. He's losing 11-9 to Mark. Mark's been turning it up. Mark acquired Nathan McKinnon last week. Did we talk about that?
Yes.
Okay. You got a good memory, Stork. You keep calling yourself old. I'm the one. I'm the one who's getting the I'm losing my memory. So, but yeah, Mark acquired Nate McKinnon, and he did a couple of extra pickups this week. That's played into his good luck. And he is looking to get back in the playoff race. And Josh, he might be coming back down on the pack if he can't win this one. Josh, though, has yet to get any goaltending starts. Who's the starter tonight? Shesterkin?
Yes, as far as I know, he's starting tonight.
Because I haven't, he apparently hasn't started for Josh yet, and he will be playing tonight. That's right. Halak got the start the other night when the Rangers beat the Flames. What'd you think of that game? As we take a break in the fantasy score updates.
Now that was an entertaining hockey game.
Yeah,
that's hockey right there. That's what we want to see.
That should have been the All-Star game.
But I wish it was.
Jake Trudeau,
I would have watched the whole game.
Yeah, the Flames ended up. There was a lot of good hits in that game. They ended up losing in overtime to the Rangers. Drake Trubro, probably the featured player in that game, throwing his weight around. He hit Kadri. A good hit, and it got chippy after a while. Lucic, I can't remember who hit him. That one maybe
Uyghur, I believe.
No, Uyghur plays for the Flyers. I mean, somebody hit Lucic, and I thought it was maybe a
Oh, okay.
Was that Truba too? I don't remember.
No, I don't think it was Truba. I'll have to think about it now.
Yeah.
I don't
Anyways,
remember, but it started off a brouhaha. That's for sure.
yeah. What was it? Mangiapane kicked a puck in. What'd you think? Did you think that should have been a goal?
I had a look at it, Jimmy, and I I would have to let that go because all he was doing was heading to the net. He didn't move his leg or move his skate or kind of adjust his skate. I don't think he really meant to kick that in. I think it was just he was going to the net hard, and the puck hit him and it went into the net. So I think they made the right call there, Jimmy. I know you didn't like it. I know you
It's
thought it was kicking, but I didn't see any movement of the skate to direct it at any point. I think it was just it was a good goal.
for me. It's not so much. I don't care. I don't mind it. It's just I've seen it. It's like one of those gray area things. I've seen it called a goal. I've seen it not called a goal before. I mean, unfortunately, you're not going to get perfect refereeing all the time.
No,
For
and,
me, for
and
me,
you can't get into the player's head to let to find out whether he did that on purpose or not. Yeah,
yeah.
so they have to go by what they're seeing on the replay. And in the replay, I looked at it 3 or 4 times, and I didn't see any direct motion of him, edging his skate to the left or to the right to adjust it to go into the net. So I think it was just it was unintentional, but it should have counted. I think anyway. That's my own personal opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, goals that are via the foot and like goaltender interference are the two things in officiating that
Well,
sometimes
I
just
have
they.
Mangiapane on one of my teams, so
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
maybe I'm a little biased. So I don't know.
yeah. No,
But
no, I
it
get
looked
it.
like a good goal to me.
So if you had a bunch of Flames and Rangers, as we put that topic to bed, that was a great game. Might have been the game of the year.
It was a
Uh,
good game. Yeah, it was an
Rangers win it in
entertaining
overtime.
hockey game. And how
So
refreshing was it to watch that game after watching the All Star game? I'm
yeah,
sorry.
there you go.
That's the kind of hockey I want to watch.
Yeah.
Good rough and tumble, two teams going after it. It was a good hockey game.
So if you had a bunch of players on that game in that game on those two teams, I'm sure you had some good stats. So Mark Wood leads Josh Halsey 11-9, and it's gonna be a lot more action in this one. In a battle of two teams on the opposite side of the spectrum, they're in the lower in the standings. They're in the Gretzky DuPont Pipe Players Tim Kelly, Frozen Norseman Nick Reedy. Right now, the Pipe Players have a huge lead, 17-2 in
Yeah.
this one. It looks like Tim's got the better of the goaltending so far, and a lot of the offense. So Nick is going to want to step it up a little bit on some of these categories. Still time. I'm not examining every category, but the goals are close. It looks like DuPont's up 8-7. So there's still time. I think Nick probably has some players that just need to get back into his lineup.
Yeah.
We got Texas freezing Kuznetsov playing decent this week. Speaking of that game, he had a couple players I noticed on the bench. I know Jaden just got a new phone, so he probably had some issues getting his lineup set that night. He's the one that has Mangiapane, I thought, in our league, right? Yeah, he had him on the bench that night. But Jaden still has a chance to win this one as he's just trailing 11-8. Washington needs this win bad I mean, they're still in the thick of the playoffs here, but in that Ovechkin, there's no rest for the wicked. Is that the saying?
For the
Whalen,
wary.
yeah, the wary. His goaltending's looking pretty decent, but he needs to get that offense going a little. Just 2 goals on the fantasy week so far, but the Wendigo 9-6-1, and Jaden playing for Pride at 1-13-2. He's looking to cause some upsets here. Huma is playing you, Stork, Langley Scorpions. You're up 15-6. You've had a healthy lead this whole week, All-Star break included. Julio, Can't tell. He looks like he's got good goaltending, but he just can't get any goaltending wins. Um, you're doing pretty.
I wanted to jump on Huma early. That was my game plan, is to go after him early and maintain the lead throughout the week, because this is a big win for me if I can pull this one out. It's going to hurt Huma, but
Yeah.
it's going to put me in good position. So that's all that really matters, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, I tell you the truth. I'm nervous about making the playoffs. I need a lot of help here. But you're 9-7. Julio is 6-8-2. He's got a crazy record. Those two ties. I wonder if that helps you or hurts you. But I'm losing right now to the Nova Fire Brigade in our third and final matchup. By the way, Langley, you if you get a win, you'll avoid this sweep. Nova Fire Brigade is up 10-8 in my matchup with the Ad Americans. Man, I really need this win. Nova's been really tough. He's been really good offensively. I got the goaltending finally going. I got 2 Jake Ottinger wins, Stork. Finally, I got that going, and I think he's starting again tonight. So Connor Hellebuck's been on rest, so I haven't had much but one goalie. Unfortunately, I dropped a few players I wish I could have back, and they were already gobbled up. So I'm waiting for a bulk of some guys to come back. I am trying to get better in the goon department. I'm terrible in hits. Just 10 hits in almost a week of action, and we're gonna have another until we're Sunday. And man, 10 hits is just not gonna cut it. So my team needs to get a little bit tougher. So a lot of close games, a couple maybe little lopsided games. And then I don't even have. Oh yeah, this is rivalry week. The rest of the division games are rivalry weeks. We only have one more non-divisional matchup, and that's in 2 weeks. So I don't know, Stork.
Well, lots of games are standing out to me right now. I'm keeping a good eye on the Wyoming Woodpecker game, and of course your game. And I'm rooting for Texas this week to beat Washington, because we're not that far. You and I both at 9-7 records. A win there could really put us in good standing. Washington's got a lot of teams underneath them, and they're all knocking on the door right now.
Indeed. I'm totally still not for certain a tiebreaker. I thought Yahoo, because they have me in the 6th spot, Stork. I thought you were in the 6th spot.
I was a little surprised by that too, Jimmy, because I did beat you this year. But
yeah, I have it as head to head. Is it? I don't know. I'll have to go back in there, but head to head, you beat me.
What it could be is they might have it set at divisional, and you have a better divisional record than I do.
Okay.
I think that's what they've done. They do divisional first. But that's something we'll address in the off season when we make a couple of adjustments, as we've talked about before. There is going to be a couple of adjustments, and I think that should be one of them, because I think the number one tiebreaker should be head-to-head records.
Well, I remember when I set up the league, it is a tiebreaker of head-to-head action. I just wonder if that's when you're totally tied.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, man. You wouldn't even look at a tiebreaker unless the two teams have the same record. So, and yeah. I know I did beat you this year, so I was expecting to be in 6th, but I was kind of surprised when they weren't. And I looked over it to figure out what they did, and I'm pretty sure they went by division, or division records. You're what are you? You're 7-4 in your division, and I'm only 6-5. So it's the only thing that I can see that why they gave you the nod there.
Yeah, we're the commissioner and deputy commissioner. We don't even know, but the guys.
We'll look into it for sure, because something might not be set right. But I mean, all in all, it's going to be fair the rest of the year.
Yeah, it'll be
all by the same rules. So
it'll get worked out some.
Yeah,
I know
but
you.
I mean, we've got some adjustments to make, but to make it even better next year.
I know you.
But I'm going to leapfrog you this week with any luck. So
I know you take pride in beating me. Honestly, in all of our
I
leagues
take
that we're.
pride in beating anybody, Jimmy. But
I know,
being
but
the commissioner is kind of exciting. You know what I mean?
I can't for the life of me remember the last time I've beaten you in a fantasy game. And man, I gotta wait till next year or the playoffs for that to happen in this league at the minimum. But
Yeah. Well, I mean,
oh yeah, man.
like I said last week, I mean, the uh, the the standings has really gotten tight, and yeah, it's going to be nail biting for the next 4 weeks. That's for sure. It's going to be a good race, and teams are going to be jumping over everybody. And we still have a lot of teams that are still in the mix. Even DuPont and Frozen Norsemen have a shot, but uh, the way I see it for those two teams is if DuPont does go on to win, they'll both have 6-11 records, and that's going to be really hard. They're going to have to run the table the rest of the year.
Yeah, and we'll tell the league that the prognosticator, Kevin Stork's alter ego, always good at. He's always good when it comes down the stretch to the mathematic formulas. So everybody will know what they have to do before that week starts to see the scenarios, what has to happen. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
you want to take care of your own business, but if you're depending on help, the prognosticator always good at breaking those down. I get excited when I have to read that stuff, Stork.
I will definitely put something together and talk to the prognosticator, and you'll have a report after this week. So
Yes, and then like we said, if you are outside of the playoffs, your season is not over. You're playing for that number one pick, essentially the Bedard sweepstakes. If that's what you're going to do next year, but also, as fantasy hockey, we're not having any keepers, so essentially that pick is McDavid. That'd be interesting to see, even though that's next year. But yeah, your consolation brackets are going to be just as entertaining, I think, this year, Stork, with
can
how
you
much is on the
imagine
line.
next year, Jimmy, when we do the draft and you having first pick and you have to sit there and sweat over who you should take, McDavid or Bedard? What a problem that would be, eh?
I've seen enough of Bedard right now, Stork, to know that this guy is a generational guy. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. I can't.
One
I
comes
mean,
around every so often, every decade or so, we get one of these guys.
if this
So
kid is just putting on a farce for all of us, I'll be the first one to eat my hat. But I've
yeah,
seen a handful of his
I
games,
don't
and
think so. I
I'm
don't
just a
think we have Alexander Daig here, so
no,
yeah, there's no Alexander Daig coming out of the from
yeah,
Bedard. He's the real deal, and I'm pretty sure. I mean, you can't say that about a lot of players that have never played an NHL game, but this guy's ripe. I mean, he's ready. He could play right now. I mean, he could.
exactly. Yeah, I'm just sad he didn't get a chance to come out here to Seattle. He wasn't on the road schedule. They only played Regina out here, or they played them on the East where Regina is. And unless Regina, which I don't think they really have that great of a team, unless they run the table and make it to the finals. And let's just say the T-Birds were able to do that too. That's probably the only way I'll see him play the T-Birds. But I definitely will see him in the big show once he comes out here against the Kraken, or if I go to see him somewhere else. He's worth the price of admission by looking at his tapes. So very
Yeah, well,
exciting
like I
story.
said, I mean, getting that first overall pick, boy, would I love to have that problem.
Yeah.
Who do I take,
So
Bedard or McJesus? That I want that problem. I want that right on my
yeah.
table.
Well, we have the big first inaugural season to take care of, and it's going to be the most exciting playoff run, I think, in fantasy sports. But I will tell you this, Stork, we are making a huge event out of next year's draft. I will be promoting it. I'm trying to get. I want 100%. We'll make it on a date that everybody can get on here on the computer. I really enjoyed last year's banter. I think it'll be 10 times better this off season once we ramp up for year 2 of the league fantasy hockey. And whoever
I
has
love
this,
drafting, Jimmy. Drafting is the most fun of. I mean, I love the whole year and the whole fantasy process, but draft day is an exciting day for me. So
yeah, I know it. So the champion will have the cup by then, and they'll have that in the background. Hopefully, it stays right here, but you'll have your name on it, and we'll have a big draft party next fall. But we have this year to take care of, and we're in week 17. Stork, I'm excited. The floor is yours. Any final thoughts here on this is a big week here. We keep saying that every week, but this is a huge divisional week.
well, every week going forward to the end of the year is going to be huge, especially for teams that are still fighting for a playoff spot or teams that are in a playoff spot and are trying to stave off the Wolves because it's going to be a hell of a finish and it's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to it. And of course, I'm always looking forward to playoff hockey and going after that cup behind you. That's what it's all about, man.
Yep. All right, so week 17's got a few more days to it. We got 2 games tonight, and that kicks off in about 20 minutes from this recording. I'll upload this show as soon as I can, and it's been a good show, Stork. Episode 15, week 17. You're the man. Like Badger Bob said, it's always a great day for hockey. I'll talk to you sometime next week, and we'll go over everything from this week, and obviously the week will be underway for week 18. See you then, buddy.
All right, buddy.
All right.
Take care, everybody. Have a good week and good luck to all the teams.
And the All-Star game, it sucks.
It does.
See you later, guys. All right,
Take care,
see you,
guys.
buddy. Have a good night.